welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm doing this thing where I'm trying to get myself to actually make things and put things out there. And so I'm putting all my interests on a turntable. I'm gonna take turns doing things. And part of this is to make sure I don't get bored, but also to make sure I get to everything, because I know that a lot of people follow me for different things. But we're gonna start off today with the first thing, which is my YouTube channel and my Legos. And I'm gonna show you where I'm at, because I've been building a village and I guess another village, more like a kingdom, but ones that they're at different scales. So we'll start with that. So starting off all the way over here, we have my newest addition, which is Hagrid's hut, but I'm just using it as nondescript house, I guess. It looks good, undeniably. And I don't really like the Harry Potter sets, and I don't really like Harry Potter in general, or J.K. Rowling, because she's kind of dumb, and I think it's obvious why I don't like her. But this is my executioner's hut at the edge of town. This is where my little custom executioner figure lives, and these are his pumpkins that he grows to practice on. This is dark. We're starting off very dark. They need an executioner, because of course they do. This is a custom hut I made. I made this myself from scratch. Here, let's turn it around, or get turned around. So here is the front end. It's a door. I believe that door is from the Up set, but I got it because I like to thrift a lot of my Legos used, and so I don't get complete sets. I made it so the roof comes off. You can actually see inside there. There's one of those extra furniture pieces from the medieval town set. We'll get there in a minute. We'll take care of that later. I put the tree out here too, because I thought it'd look nice. We got the carriage being pulled by a cow. I'm kind of using all my blue figures that I was going to use for like pirate stuff as just nondescript workers who work for the Lion Knights, because they got Lion Knight legs and they're the same color pretty much. Over here we have some Lion Knights walking in, and there's a Black Falcon Knight that they're escorting through the city on this trail that I do not have enough pieces to make. Just a guy over here, lady selling cheese, the cheese stand that came with the medieval town set. So we'll look at the medieval town square stuff right here. This is the place where the seamster, the male seamstress person lives here, and they're walking in to their house. This is that blacksmith lady, and the lady who builds things. She's up in there. Then we got the house for the cheese people. And the cheese people, I got all my goats back here. So this is the goat farmer minifig. Of course he's changed and stuff, but there's the goat that I think he came with, and then there's the goat that I think the set came with. It's really dark back here, I'm sorry. This is that chair that she's working on, the lady who works in the blacksmith / carpentry place. And then back here we just have like a space. I used to have my wolf knights over here, not wolf knights, my wolf pack over here, like sneaking around, but I moved them over here. And then we get into the other part of the place, which is the tavern. And so over here we got, starting off, a tower for the knights. We got a tower for the knights, and there's also the barracks here. If you've seen the set or the set reviews, you know what it looks like inside. I have it all set down onto the plates, so I can't really look into it right now. Up here, I believe, is where the tax collector lives. This is the kitchen, and this is the tavern. place. And then out front we have the tavern keep lady and a guy arguing with some guy who's probably drunk. We have these guys again. The tax collector is right here, new haircut. And we got a lion knight right here. You can't see it, it's on the front of his torso. Then we get into the Dungeons and Dragons. One of my friends gave me the idea to customize the set so it could be placed on to base plates. And so I just removed all the watery edges, removed the dock, made it a staircase, and yeah, that was pretty much all I had to do. You start off over here, got this tower, it's really broken down. I don't have anyone walking up here right now. If I get more lion knights, I'll definitely do a lot more stuff here. We have the secret entrance to the dungeon. The dungeon is back there and everything. It's kind of hard to get to. We have this lady in a horse carriage, and the horse fell over. Very clumsy horse. Then we have my wolf pack people out here in front of the inn. And so they got a dog, they got a wolf, and then of course there's the Beastmaster. I switched out his hood with the Executioner because I thought it looked better on the Executioner figure. And they have an archer, and then someone riding a giant wolf. Obviously a little more fantasy. That's from the Lord of the Rings sets. And then we have the inn right here. It is very colorful compared to a lot of the other buildings, but it still fits really well in the theme. Then up here we go into castle, more of the castle stuff. I have another lion knight up here, just kind of watching over. Over here, it's the other side of the set. You can actually start to see the inside of the dungeon area over here from the set. I'm not like doing a full in-depth review right now. I'm just not I don't have like a setup for that. I'm running out of space for all of my things because this is what else I am working on. Yeah, so this is where my little village is at right now. And let me know if you want me to do a video on specifically like all my figures and stuff, and my custom figures and the stories that go along with them. And that's kind of in this world that we're building is what some of these characters belong. So whereas this is minifigure scale, this is game board scale, or I guess these game board figures from the Lego Games line that they used to do, and that is a significant difference. And the reason I like doing this is because when the figures take up less space, and everything's smaller, you have more area to work with, and you can flesh out your world even more, because just this is like double that size. If you were to double the scale of that, this is like a lot bigger. So over here we're gonna start off on this base plate. By the way, you're gonna see a lot of raised base plates with what I'm doing because, oh god, I just love the older raised base plates, and I think they work really good for this tiny scale I'm doing. I think it works well to build terrain because we're going for a big, vast distance, and when you start going that far, elevation changes, and so that's nice to see. So over here we have our player's tent where they start, where our party comes in next to some cherry blossom trees. And over here we've got a tower on top of the mountain that my Cyclops lives in. And the Cyclops is given a piggyback ride to one of these little, I guess to me they're like little orc people. And then they have a little dragon too. This one's riding a giant dog. I don't know. I don't have more of the mini horses right now. But that's what's going on over there. They're kind of making their way this way. Who knows? Maybe they're up to something mischievous. This is our player party. I guess in my imagination, these are the main characters. They're on their way to the city over here. This one's on that fantasy horse I showed earlier with the wings. And then this one's on the mini horse. And really interesting about this comes from the CMF Horse Girl minifigure. So To a minifigure, it's a baby horse, but to this scale of figure, it's a normal-sized horse. And I love that. And it's perfect for what I'm doing and what I wanted to do. And then we get into this section over here. Now, this isn't finished, but I'm still pretty happy with it so far, because obviously over here, there's some work that needs to be done. But we'll go over here. We'll start looking at this forest. Sorry, I knocked my light over. Anyways, over here we get into this little forest section. There's some chopped down trees and there's some forest men. One of them's got a little hat on. They're just kind of chilling over here, right next to the bridge that leads right into the kingdom. The bridge that goes over the river that's connected to the sea. And we'll get into that later. I'm pretty proud of this bridge. It's completely symmetrical. I mean, except for the tiling work for like the cobble pattern. But it took a while to build, and I like how it turned out. It works at minifigure scale and at this scale because it's just a big bridge. It's just a big bridge. This bridge is okay for now. I'll probably replace it eventually. This would work better for just like a very tiny river, but you know, this is all still a work in progress. We got some more trees over here, more little forested area. Very nice. I'm very happy with how this turned out. And then we got some little travelers coming in here. These are little desert people. One of them's riding a giant rabbit. Then we got the hut over here, and you might notice this is the doghouse from the Hagrid set. And it looks like a mini version of the hut. So guess what? I have a little dark colored minifigure here, and I'm gonna pretend that that's this executioner for this world. And of course, he lives on a hut outside the town lines. And then over here, we got a little bit more foliage, more tree work, and there's a little dog. But at this scale, it's a wolf. Yeah, it's like a little wolf dog. Okay, anyways, and going into the city, here we have the wall. It's not very good yet. I don't have a lot of pieces to work with, but these are the little gates. They got little hedges around them, and there's a guard at each gate. If I can get low enough. Wow. This is how short people play with Legos. You can see, it does go through. I'm proud of this. This turned out okay. The wall is kind of temporary for now, but this is a guard tower, and it's got a little door right there, and it's got a guy up on top. And then we get into the city. There's some more guards on the inside of the wall that needs to be eventually changed out, but let's just start over here. So we have a house and a couple of people outside. This is actually 2 barrel pieces, or crate pieces. You realize I'm also using them as a boat over here, but over here I'm using them as a part of a house. And if anyone knows where to find more of these, let me know, because these are really useful for making these tiny scale houses. And I knocked something. Yeah, so this is just a house. We have another house over here. It's got a little bit more detail work, as in it's got a smaller second floor, and it's got a little offshoot of a room and a fireplace coming out. And in the back, it has some piles of hay, is what I'm treating that as, and then some pumpkins, and then one really big pumpkin that's a minifigure head. And then over here, we have the outhouse. Next to a dead tree from the poo fumes. There's a guy right there wearing a hat that's actually just an oven mitt. Extra oven mitt. Oh my god, my camera. And then we have a church right here. And I like how this one turned out too. They all kind of look like Monopoly houses right now. Oh my god. Okay, I fixed my camera. They all kind of look like Monopoly houses, but I'm liking how they're turning out. Over here, we got a guy raking leaves. He's got a bag to put them in, and there's this tree because the leaves are starting to fall off. And over here too with this red tree. Leaves are falling off here too. This is kind of, you know, these are more temporary builds until I figure out something better to do or get better variety of parts. This tower, something like that has gone through a few different iterations, but I like where it's at now. It's It's got a few doors, and then the back is kind of closed up. But it's got this really nice big tower on it. And there's another guard up there. And you can imagine that guards can look through those windows or something from the inside. It's not interiored. For interior, I would do something like, I have these game boards, and then you'd switch to minifigure scale. But I'm not doing that right now. Let's finish looking at this, and then over here we have the boat dock, and then we get into the water. There's a statue over here. This is a statue of Lady Justice. She has her scale and her sword, and she's standing on a snake. I tried to get it as accurate to a Lady Justice statue as I could, because in this universe, Lady Justice is actually a deity. She's not like a symbol. She was a god that has died. Maybe I can get into lore later, because it's really complicated. This is a little canoe that I turned into a large sailing vessel that still needs some kind of sails or something. There's some people fishing on there. They caught something. Caught a big one. This guy caught a giant crab. Then over here we go into a little island with a little yellow party. There's a female barbarian, a male barbarian. There's a knight, and then a ninja. And this is their boat that they came here on. And they got a little campfire. So they're camping outside of town. And we've got some treacherous terrain in the water here. And there's a freaking giant shark. And that's a man-eating shark. That's almost as big as their boat. It's a big shark. And then over here we have a dragon perched up on one of these rocks. And I guess that's really everything I have so far. And I really want my tiny scale village to grow, but I need a place to put it. It's literally on my floor right now. I need to get another table. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you can tell me where to find more of these pieces. And some good sets you think, or something, for, let me know if you guys have any ideas, you know. I gotta get more of those tiny horses. And I've also got to get, I honestly think I just gotta keep getting more minifigs, because I don't think I can have enough, especially of the white guards, because that's like the main faction here in this kingdom, and so I'm gonna need a lot of them. I think I want to build factions based on color. I want to get a lot of red knights and blue knights and blah blah blah, and yellow knights, and build up some variety, and maybe I can make it big enough to have different kingdoms. I want to get more textured base plates, raised base plates, and use those to build more castles on mountains and whatnot. But right now, this is what I got. It's like 3 houses and a castle, kind of a castle, and then a wall, and a statue, and all this. So I hope you liked it. This was a first for me. Let me know if you like these videos, if you want to see more, if you want to see the quality get better, because, oh my god, this is going to be abhorrent when I upload it. But thank you for watching.